Coming up on KPBS Evening Edition, super PACs make their debut in San Diego with some high-profile people making donations. We're naming names.
And a California woman's fight with a big car company over gas mileage. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Ferrian.
And I'm Dwayne Brown. Same-sex marriage advocates protested outside the county administration building today, and one couple took it a step further. Lauren Parrish and Jersey Deutsch applied for a marriage license this morning, but were turned away even though a federal appeals court overturned California's same-sex marriage law last week. That decision was stayed because another appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court is expected. Supporters of same-sex marriage say they want a quick decision from the High Court.
We share our bills, we have a house, we have 2 dogs, we take care of each other when we're sick, and the fact that we were just treated like criminals or like we were in trouble for something was felt really, really bad.
Parrish and Deutsch were escorted out of the building by a deputy and a crowd of supporters. A county official did tell the couple they can come back if there's a final decision in favor of same-sex marriage.
California's bond outlook is getting better, according to Standard & Poor's. S&P upgraded the state's bond outlook from stable to positive, and that could be a step toward upgrading California's credit rating. Right now, it's an A-. A report from S&P says a higher rating depends on sufficiently credible solutions to the state's $9.2 billion budget deficit. Repair work has begun on some tubes in a reactor at the San Onofre nuclear power plant in the North County. The tubes carry radioactive water that helps remove heat from the reactor. There are 10,000 of them in each reactor. Southern California Edison runs the plant and says an inspection found unexpected wear in some of the tubes in the Unit 2 reactor. The plant has been offline since the end of last month when a leaking tube shut down the plant's Unit 3 reactor.
Padres Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn had surgery today to remove another growth in his right cheek. ESPN reports the tumor is in the same spot where a malignant one was removed in 2010. If this new one is benign, Gwynn could go back and work as a coach with the San Diego State Aztecs in about a month. Gwynn has said the cancer was caused by 30 years of using smokeless tobacco. A proposed settlement over Honda's hybrid cars may run into objections from California and 4 other states. Today, a Superior Court judge in San Diego gave the states until the end of the month to file those objections. Honda is trying to settle with hybrid owners over fuel efficiency claims. The owners say Honda inflated those claims. Of course, last year, Honda made its settlement offer to give hybrid owners $100 or $200, but another Honda owner took the car maker to court herself and won nearly $10,000. Joanna's talking with her over at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
As you just heard, a Southern California woman took on a big car company in small claims court and won. Heather Peters joins me in studio to talk about her battle with Honda. Thanks for being here, Heather.
Thanks for having me.
This began with a 2006 Honda Hybrid and its promise of good gas mileage. So how did it end up in court?
God only knows. Honda could have made me go away. I offered to trade the car for another used car, and they've never called me. But be that as it may, they lied in the brochure. They said 50 miles a gallon, city and town and highway, and it never really got more than 40, but I wasn't going to sue over that. You know, average mileage may vary. What happened was they reprogrammed the car because the battery was dying. So they used the battery less and the gas more, which is like siphoning gas out of my tank. And now I get 28 or 29. And even then I wasn't going to sue. I was waiting for the class action going, oh, maybe they'll replace the battery.
Because there are 200,000 Honda hybrid owners, right?
Actually, there are 200,000 cars. There are almost 500,000 owners when you go resale.
Okay. So they're part of a class action.
The class action came out, and they were trying to settle. They are, unless the judge disapproves it. Where people can get a maximum of $200 and a coupon towards their next Honda.
Now, that wasn't good enough for you. So what did you do? What did you do next?
It's not good enough. I used to be a lawyer 10 years ago, and I said, real court is too long and too expensive. So I just went to small claims, and it's like Judge Judy. In California, there's no lawyers, and no fancy rules of evidence. You just go, you talk for about maybe half an hour, plain English, just like we're talking here, and the judge gives you a decision.
Didn't have a lawyer there.
They're not allowed to have a lawyer.
So who did they have there representing them?
They had a technical specialist who was a mechanic who worked his way up to work on litigation now.
And what did the judge rule in your favor? The judge ruled in your favor, and how much were you awarded?
Yeah, the judge was great. He wrote a 26-page opinion and gave me $9,867.19.
And the maximum in California is $10,000.
$10,000, so I couldn't complain.
So you didn't stop there, though. Now what you started urging people to do, if they are these Honda owners, is say, wait a minute, don't settle for that $200 class action. Go to small claims court.
Right, yeah. I could have left and just, taken my money and went, but I was really upset for everybody. So don't settle with Honda.org is my website. And I figured, I'm going to share with everyone my fancy legal education and tell them you can do it themselves.
But this is probably the thing most people don't know, that you don't opt into a class action. You actually have to opt out.
Exactly. That's so important. People wrote me, and that was one of the things I got back involved, because people were writing me going, oh, well, I'm not sending in my paperwork, so I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm like, oh, no, if you don't do something, you're a part of it whether you like it or not.
So that sort of brings us to today's step in your story. So what you actually asked people to do is sign a petition and say, let's ask the Attorney General from various states, Attorney Generals, to say, okay, we don't want to accept this class action settlement.
Right.
So what happened today in the San Diego courtroom?
Well, everybody, the regular folk, had until last Friday to tell the judge, no, I don't want to be a part of it. But we got over 1,400 this morning. Signatures, and all 50 state attorney generals got the petition, and California came in today. They heard us. They came in and they said, Your Honor, we want more time to look into this. And they got it. And
so,
5 states total joined them.
So I do want to read a statement from Honda.
Please
because
do.
They do plan on actually appealing your small claims court judgment. And so this is what Honda says. American Honda believes that the judgment in this case is a radical and unprecedented departure from California and federal law. And as stated above, we intend to vigorously appeal this decision. Now, when they say it's unusual, it is unusual, because most times when we have a class action suit, the money that people are awarded, that individuals are awarded, isn't necessarily a lot of money. The intent is really something else. What is it?
Exactly. And I'm not here to say get out of every class action. Some of them are really good. If somebody puts 20 cents on your phone bill, you're not going to go sue them. But you're really glad that somebody is. And, great, go get them. That's what it's for. It's to punish them and keep them honest. But when you have $10,000 out of pocket, that's a different story. That's a case where I think a class action is, quite frankly, inappropriate. Or at least it should be a lot more money.
We haven't got a lot of time, but before we go, when will the Attorney General of California make a decision whether or not they want to object to this class action settlement?
They have to move pretty quickly. The judge gave them until February 29th to get something on file. And then the final hearing is March 16th.
Okay. Heather Peters, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
San Diego County has a couple of surprising super PACs or political action committees. We'll have that story in just a moment. Also, Republican presidential hopeful Newt Gingrich is on a tour through Southern California. And even without same-sex marriages, there were plenty of wedding celebrations today. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tomorrow evening on KPBS at 8. In the 1950s, American women discovered they could earn thousands, even millions of dollars from bowls that burped. The success of Tupperware on American Experience. Then at 9, 3 former street criminals in Chicago placed themselves in the line of fire to protect their communities. The Interrupters on Frontline. And at 11, hear the story of William Still, one of the most important yet unheralded individuals of the Underground Railroad. That's tonight on KPBS.
In his teen years, lots of people were saying they expected Bill Clinton to be president someday.
They hated his guts, and they would go to the end of the earth to destroy him. What a squandering of talent and possibility.
Tonight has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid.
A definitive look at the man and the president. Clinton on American Experience. Monday, February 20th at 9, only on PBS.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Erwin Jacobs and by
Republican presidential hopeful Newt Gingrich brought his campaign to San Diego today. Appearing at a fundraiser in Fairbanks Ranch, recent polls put Gingrich behind Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum, but the former Speaker of the House is not backing down.
We want to put California in play this fall so we can compete for the Electoral College. We want to win the California delegates in June when the primary occurs. We're also raising a fair amount of money on the trip, which has been very, very helpful to be able to compete on Super Tuesday, which is our next big focus.
And money is playing a bigger role than ever in this year's political campaigns. Joanne follows the trail with her guests at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
You've heard of them by now, super PACs, the endless cash machine for political campaigns. Our media partner, Investigative News Source, followed some of the money and it led them here to San Diego. Brooke Williams is a reporter working with Investigative News Source. She joins me from Washington, D.C. via Skype. Brooke, thanks for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Now, how many super PACs did you discover based here in San Diego?
Well, three. There's one that is election-minded, based in La Jolla, and was dedicated to electing Rick Perry. A second, less election-minded, based in Scripps Ranch, dedicated to ensuring there is sustainable life on other planets. And a third, called a completely legitimate super PAC. Ironically, it's not a super PAC at all.
And the other thing you did is you did follow the money. You wanted to find out who in San Diego County is contributing to super PACs. What did you learn?
Well, I found that a couple individuals have given big money to super PACs. First, Doug Manchester, who purchased the Union Tribune, now UT San Diego, gave $25,000 a few months before the purchase to Restore Our Future, which was dedicated to electing Mitt Romney. Second, a couple San Diego real estate investors, Lawrence and Suzanne Hess, donated $120,000 to Progressive Kick, progressive super PAC.
Now, I know in this show, in the last little while, we've been talking a lot about the 52nd Congressional District. Now, this is Brian Bilbray's district. He's a Republican, and there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Republican Party, or at least super PACs kind of supporting Republicans, are going to step in and put some money into this race. What did you find out?
Absolutely. I spoke with super PACs, both conservative, progressive, Democrat, Republican, and they're really eyeing the 52nd district. It's a newly redrawn district and looking to be competitive, and they want to put their money where they think it's going to make a difference. For instance, the House Majority PAC, which is dedicated to ensuring Democrats win the House, is looking to spend in the 52nd. The executive director told me that she is all but certain that they will. On the conservative side, American Crossroads, which has raised $18 million, is eyeing the 52nd district. A little more hesitant to discuss strategy, but we have super PACs getting ready to spend big money on advertisements in San Diego.
Finally, before we go, Brooke, we don't have a lot of time. Any sort of Democratic super PAC looking to spend money in that district as well?
The House Majority PAC.
That's the House. Okay, thank you. Brooke Williams, reporter for Investigative News Source.
Thank you.
Joining me now to break down the rules, or lack thereof, of super PACs is James Ingram, political science lecturer at SDSU and UC San Diego. Thank you for being here, James. So remind our audience, these super PACs are a result of what court ruling?
There was a decision in 2010 called Citizens United, and this is the case that President Obama discussed in his State of the Union address upon taking office. And in that decision, the courts basically opened the doors for all kinds of campaign work by corporations.
So we've always had PACs, or political action committees, here in California. So how are super PACs different, and do they not have to follow the rules of PACs?
Right. Well, the 527s, these super PACs, or these 527s, they exist under Section 527 of the IRS code. So they're a tax entity. But those political action committees is a longer-term form. Had been since federal law in the early 1970s, and California started regulating them in 1974. So it's been, we have a nearly 40-year-long history with the PAC phenomenon.
And in California, if you're a PAC, you do have to disclose who's giving you money, don't you?
Right. We have our disclosure laws that require all of our political action committees acting in state and local elections in this state. That's part of our Political Reform Act that we passed in '74, and we've been amending, ever since.
So if you are a super PAC that is based here in San Diego, do you have to follow any of the California rules regarding PACs and disclosure?
Oh, right. Those laws of disclosure would apply to super PACs operating here in our state's races, exactly. So, you can't do anything in the state law that would violate the constitutional rulings that the Supreme Court made. You can't put limitations on those PACs that the Supreme Court already said are not allowed, but disclosure requirements have been okay.
So if you're a super PAC outside of California that doesn't have disclosure laws, you don't have to disclose.
Then those wouldn't, California wouldn't be monitoring those types of activities, right?
So do you think as a result of that, do we end up with fewer super PACs actually being launched here out of California because we've got different rules or we have disclosure rules?
It's possible we'll see, we might see out-of-state types of PACs that would be cautious about the state. Maybe we would get our own PACs that are more, used to dealing with our laws that would, prevent themselves from facing some kind of lawsuit by the FPPC.
We haven't got a lot of time left, James, but in your opinion, how are the super PACs sort of changing the campaign dynamic?
I think I'm seeing negative campaigning like never before because of the idea that these super PACs are at a hand's reach away from the candidates. But I think the public's going to be a lot more sophisticated and realize that if the super PAC is working with the candidate, then it's that they're responsible. This idea you're going to have uncoordinated, that they're uncoordinated when now candidates are allowed to show up at super PAC events and help them raise funds. How much more coordinated can you get? And yet that's legal. That's allowed. So. I think the public will really eventually learn to punish candidates if they've, done some really negative campaigning through their super PACs. They're not going to be, they'll be smart enough to see that and then act accordingly.
Okay, James Ingram, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks.
It was a fun, festive, and emotional day for many San Diego couples at the County Administration Building downtown. That's where the number of public wedding ceremonies double on Valentine's Day.
As if on cue, the sun broke through the clouds, making this day for lovers extra special. Even the deputy commissioners were dressed to the nines, top hat included. About 170 weddings were scheduled this Valentine's Day, and this couple came from the South Bay. It all started quietly as they registered and paid the $70 license fee. We'll meet them again downstairs for the ceremony.
There's a lot of color out there today. There's a lot of red and white.
Ernie Dronenberg is the county tax collector, but he's wearing his commissioner hat on this day.
Today we've got a lot of special deputies to handle the workload, but I have normally about 12 deputies throughout the county that are performing marriages.
Sí. Jose Torres Quillos and Cecilia Hernandez are tying the knot after being together for 18 years.
Sí.
They were joined by their extended families and the 16-year-old daughter they had together, who was dressed in Valentine red.
Gracias. This is one important day for us because we love you very much.
The record for the most weddings on one day was set in 2002 in San Diego County. That's when 189 couples said I do.
It takes about 7 to 9 days for couples to receive their official marriage license in the mail.
Last year, 172 weddings were performed throughout the county on Valentine's Day. In a moment, we'll take a look at an effort to clean up one of San Diego's most polluted watersheds. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Hi, I'm Elsa Sevilla. If you find yourself hearing about a great program on KPBS after it's already aired, we have a solution. Get notified about your favorite TV programs on KPBS before they air by subscribing to the TV Highlights email alert. This daily email will feature the best programs coming up right here on KPBS TV, so you can make a date to tune in or plan to record it. It's easy to register. Just go to kpbs.org/alerts.
On Masterpiece Classic.
Is Mr. Bates the one Lady Rosamond told me about, the murderer?
He's been wrongly accused.
My husband's on trial for his life.
What is it? I warn you, even my patience has its limits. You don't have to marry him, you know.
I do have to marry him.
Why?
We're talking to the dead.
Is there anyone there?
God knows what we're in for now.
Stop this at once!
Downton Abbey on Masterpiece Classic.
Sunday at 9 on KPBS.
A permit's been denied for a proposed apartment complex in Little Italy. The Fat City lofts were planned to be built across the street from the solar turbines plant. The company opposed the plan out of concerns over regulations. Today, the chairman of the Center City Development Corporation cited those concerns in denying the permit. The project's developer said he'd go to court to get permission to build.
Chollas Creek is the watershed that carries stormwater through some of San Diego's lowest income neighborhoods, from La Mesa and Lemon Grove through City Heights, southeastern San Diego, Barrio Logan, and right into San Diego Bay. The watershed is also one of San Diego's most polluted. It's full of trash, old furniture, chemicals, and invasive plant species. When it rains, all that gets washed into the bay. Now, joining me in studio is Leslie Reynolds, Director of Groundwork San Diego, a nonprofit that's been working to turn Chollas Creek around. Thanks for being here, Leslie.
Thank you.
Why is Chollas Creek so polluted?
Well, we are actually the smallest watershed of the 9 watersheds south of Orange County. And so we're very densely populated and very low-income communities. And so we've sort of been the last watershed invited to the watershed planning party, if you will. And so we have really suffered from insufficient resources and also a government approach to flood control in the 60s, which channelized our entire waterway and removed all of its natural biological functioning and all the benefits it used to offer to the residents.
Now, I listed a long list there of things that end up in Chollas, result of illegal dumping?
There is a lot of illegal dumping, and that's partly a reflection of insufficient city resources to really staff and police the parks and open space in our watershed. Which means that we're kind of a dumping ground for demolition and construction debris that comes outside of our neighborhoods unnoticed. And so we've got a campaign going with our residents now called Eyes on the Creek, where with refrigerator magnet telephone numbers, they can now call the illegal dumping hotline and report dumping that they see.
Because you are getting people involved in the cleanup. We're going to show our audience, people at home, some photos actually of one of your last efforts, but you're not really just out there saying with plastic bags, let's clean this up. You're doing much more than that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. The solutions that we're looking for need to be very sustainable, and so they will be government-funded solutions, which have to do with dechannelizing the creek and attempting to restore it to its natural state. But also we count very much on the residents. We work with thousands of kids who care deeply about their environment and are out there planting plants in the ground and measuring water quality, and hundreds of families that are working on home recycling efforts and organic pesticide control and those things that might contribute to pollution. So
you did mention how populated the area is. So do you have everyone on board? I mean, all of these property owners along the creek?
Well, one of the complexities in Chollas Creek is that when the government decided in the 60s that channelizing that beautiful natural system was an effective flood control approach, they put the concrete channel through private properties as well as public properties. So residents find themselves with responsibility for part of the creek and actually no resources or permits or anything else to really address that. So we're working in partnership with families and governmental agencies to get the work done.
Now you have an ultimate goal, really, not just to clean this up, but to do what?
The ultimate goal is a fully functioning, beautiful natural resource for the citizens of Southeastern, which actually will include what we call a creek-to-bay coastal trail system, so that people can get from the top of our watershed, which is Lemon Grove and La Mesa, all the way down to the Bayshore Bikeway. And we have some incredible support both within the community in terms of advocacy. And then yesterday we met with Supervisor Cox and Councilman Young and others and we think we're going to get that done in the not too distant future.
Do you have a website where people at home can go?
We do, and we have 4 major events coming up this year, and each one of them needs help, and the website is www.groundworksandiego.org.
Okay, Leslie Reynolds, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Tonight in the public square, we told you about how the multi-billion-dollar mortgage settlement could impact San Diegans. Our guests last night, 2 mortgage experts who did not have a lot of hope the $1.5 billion coming to San Diego would have a big impact on helping people stay in their homes. In fact, some of that money will go right back to the banks to offset short sales. We heard that same sentiment on KPBS.org, where Sparm Lee writes, I qualified for a modification the last time Wells Fargo got bailed out and was supposed to help homeowners. My modification was a 2% discount for 4 years, no write-down of the principal, no permanent modification of my interest rate, and Wells Fargo got to take the government's money to do it. I'm expecting Wells Fargo to help themselves before their customers this time around, too. Well, you can weigh in on this conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and of course you can always send me an email, jfarian@kpbs.org. And now let's go back to the news desk where Dwayne has a recap of tonight's top stories.
Same-sex marriage advocates held a Valentine's Day demonstration at the County Administration Building today, a week after a federal appeals court overturned California's ban on same-sex marriages. That ruling is being appealed. 2 women who tried to apply for a marriage license today got turned away. Repairs are underway at the San Onofre nuclear power plant in the North County. Southern California Edison says there's unexpected wear in some tubes used to move water through its Unit 2 reactor. And Padres Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn had surgery today to remove a tumor from his right cheek. It's the same spot that had a cancerous tumor about 18 months ago. If this new one is benign, he's expected to return to coaching Aztec baseball in about a month. You can watch and comment on any of the stories you saw tonight on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us. You have a great night. We leave you with a look at the forecast.